If you're over 60, you might still be taking vitamin D and calcium every day, believing they protect your bones and your heart. But here's the shocking truth. Almost no one tells you when these familiar pills are combined with thiazide diuretics medications often prescribed for high blood pressure, they can silently backfire. Instead of making your bones stronger, they may leave them brittle. Instead of protecting your heart, they may raise your risk of kidney stones, cramps, and chronic fatigue. Think about it, so many seniors at community centers or local gatherings end up with fractures after just a minor fall, or notice their heartbeat slowing down, their energy slipping away. Yet doctors rarely connect these issues to the way supplements and medications interact after age 60. Behind the scenes, it's not simply aging. It's a common mistake taking nutrients the wrong way, forcing calcium to pile up in dangerous places instead of being absorbed where you truly need it. But here's the hopeful part: when used correctly, vitamin D, calcium, and diuretics can actually serve as a shield for your health, helping you stay strong and independent longer. In this video, I'll uncover the hidden science no one explains and show you the safe way to combine these daily essentials so they protect your bones, your heart, and your years of life ahead. And before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And what health struggles are you facing right now? Bone pain, muscle cramps, or constant fatigue? Leave your answer in the comments below, and I'll respond to each one personally. Let's make this a community where no senior feels left in the dark. If you've ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation and suddenly blanked on the simplest word, you know how frightening that moment feels. It's not just a senior moment or something you can brush off as age. Scientists are now pointing to one hidden factor that quietly chips away at your memory circuits: a lack of magnesium in your brain. The shocking truth: almost every form of magnesium on the shelves at your local pharmacy cannot reach your brain where it's needed most. You can swallow capsule after capsule, but if it can't cross the blood-brain barrier, it might as well never have entered your body. And this barrier is not just a theory, it's the brain's iron wall designed to block out toxins. But tragically, it also blocks out most forms of magnesium. That means millions of older adults are taking supplements that make them feel secure, but do nothing to recharge the very memory circuits they're desperate to protect. Think about it. How many times have you trusted a bottle promising brain support only to notice no change at all after weeks? That's the echo of disappointment so many seniors carry, wondering if decline is inevitable. The fear of losing independence, of forgetting the names of your grandchildren, of watching the sharpness you once had slowly blur that fear is real. And it grows every time memory slips appear. But here's where the story takes a turn. Researchers discovered one rare form of magnesium L-Threonate that doesn't just sit uselessly in your bloodstream. It can slip past that iron wall and enter the brain itself. Imagine it like a key fitting into a lock that no other supplement can open. Once inside, it raises magnesium levels in brain cells, directly fueling the wiring that allows you to form, store, and retrieve memories. In animal studies, synaptic connections in the hippocampus, the very heart of memory, grew denser within just 2 weeks. And in human trials, older adults began to see measurable improvements in memory and recall within as little as 6 weeks. Pause for a second and let that sink in. For decades, memory decline has felt like a one-way road. But now, for the first time, science shows it may be possible to slow down, even gently reverse a part of that process. Still, I know what some of you are thinking. I've heard promises before. Why should I believe this is any different? That's a fair question, and it's one I asked myself when I first saw the research. But unlike vague claims or miracle cures, this is rooted in peer-reviewed science. The pain of memory lapses is not imagined. It's the signal your brain is starved of nutrients it cannot produce on its own. The echo of frustration, the echo of fear that something worse is coming. Those feelings are the very warning signs we should never ignore. And the quiet desire every one of us holds to stay sharp, to stay connected, to keep our identity intact as we age, that desire is exactly why this breakthrough matters. So as we step deeper into this video, think of this first revelation as both a warning and a spark of hope. The warning is clear: most magnesium won't touch your brain, leaving you vulnerable to a slow erosion of memory you may already feel. But the spark of hope is just as real. There is a way to nourish those circuits, to feed the brain directly, and to rediscover the clarity you thought was slipping away forever. And trust me, what you've just learned is only the beginning, because what comes next may surprise you even more. If you're still here with me and finding these insights helpful, take a moment to comment one below. It tells me you're walking this journey with me, and it helps me know that I should keep bringing you more answers. Now, let me ask you something personal. How many times in the past month have you walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? It might sound small, but research shows nearly 65% of people over 60 experience episodes of confusion or distraction daily. What if this isn't just old age, but a warning sign your brain's fuel tank is running on empty? Most people think that if they drink coffee or try a crossword puzzle, their focus will return. But here's the paradox. Stimulation without proper nutrition is like turning up the radio in a car that has no gas. It might sound louder, but the car still won't move. The truth is, your brain relies heavily on magnesium to regulate neurotransmitters, the very messengers that allow you to focus, plan, and think clearly. When magnesium levels fall too low, your thoughts scatter, your concentration slips, and frustration builds. And here's the pain echo many of you know too well, sitting at the table, trying to read the newspaper, but rereading the same line again and again. Or listening to your spouse talk, only to realize halfway through that you weren't following at all. These moments chip away at confidence and independence, making you feel like life is slipping out of your grasp. But there's good news. There is a solution. Certain forms of magnesium, such as magnesium glycinate, are designed to be absorbed efficiently by your body and carried to the nervous system, where they calm overactive signals and restore balance. Unlike cheaper forms, they don't just pass through you. They feed your mind with what it truly needs. So how can you use this practically? Experts suggest around 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate taken in the evening, when your body naturally prepares to relax. Pairing it with a light meal helps absorption. And avoiding calcium-heavy foods at the same time prevents interference. Within weeks, many older adults notice fewer lapses in concentration, a steadier mood, and even better sleep, which all circle back to sharper focus. And here's where hope comes in. Imagine sitting down with your grandchild to help with homework. And this time, you don't lose the thread halfway through. Imagine enjoying a book again without rereading every line. That clarity is not a luxury, it's your right. And with the right nourishment, it is possible. But before you relax too soon, let me warn you, not all magnesium forms are created equal. In fact, the next one on our list may be silently working against you, causing harm where you least expect it. Stay with me, because what's coming next might surprise you. Think back to the last time you had a full night of uninterrupted, deep sleep. For many people over 60, that has become a luxury. Statistics show that more than 70% of older adults complain about chronic insomnia, restless nights, or waking up in the middle of the night. And what few realize is that poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired during the day, it actually accelerates brain aging and causes memory to fade more quickly. Many believe that taking a sleeping pill is the answer. But let me ask you this, if your brain is like a dried-out garden, would pouring in a bucket of chemical water really help? Or does it need nutrients that truly soak deep into each nerve cell? This is where magnesium once again becomes central. Magnesium is not a sleeping pill. It is the key that unlocks your nervous system's ability to shift from stress to relaxation. It increases the production of GABA, the brain's natural calming neurotransmitter. When your body has enough magnesium, your brain can finally turn off the lights at the right time, leading you into restful, restorative deep sleep instead of tossing and turning through the night. Picture this. You lie down, and instead of tossing and turning, your eyes grow heavy, your breathing slows, and sleep comes gently, like a quiet stream flowing through the night. That is the difference many have experienced after just a few weeks of taking the right form of magnesium. A 68-year-old woman once shared her story. She used to wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep, leaving her exhausted and forgetful during the day. But after switching to magnesium glycinate 300 milligrams every evening, she gradually began sleeping a full 6 to 7 hours. Within a month, she noticed she no longer forgot small daily tasks. Quality sleep restored the clarity she thought she had lost. So how should you take it? Experts recommend that adults over 60 supplement with 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate in the evening, about 1 hour before bed. Take it with a glass of warm water or a light snack to improve absorption. One important note, avoid taking it with high doses of calcium, as they compete for absorption. But here's the warning, not all forms of magnesium support sleep. Magnesium oxide, the cheap version often found on supermarket shelves, is poorly absorbed and often causes diarrhea, draining your body instead of restoring it. This explains why so many people take magnesium for months but still can't sleep. If the previous section focused on daytime focus and energy, this one shows why nighttime sleep is the true foundation for brain recovery, memory regeneration, and energy renewal. Losing deep sleep is like letting the very house of your mind be eaten away by termites, silently, night after night. But stay tuned, because what I'm about to share next is even more alarming. Did you know there's a common food that seems harmless but can quietly block your body from absorbing magnesium, making all your efforts useless? You'll want to hear that in the next section. At the end of the previous section, I mentioned a familiar food that seems harmless, yet is silently blocking your body from absorbing magnesium. And the scary part is, most people over 60 consume this food every single day without even realizing it. Can you guess what it is? It's milk and calcium-rich products. At first, this may sound strange, because for decades we've been told that milk strengthens bones and provides essential nutrients. But here's the harsh truth: when you drink milk or take large amounts of calcium supplements together with magnesium, they actually compete directly in the small intestine. Calcium wins the battle, while magnesium, the very nutrient you need for sleep, heart health, and strong muscles, gets pushed out. Think of your body as a room with only one narrow door. Both calcium and magnesium are trying to enter. When calcium floods in, magnesium is left outside. And what happens then? Your body slips into a long-term deficiency, even if you're taking magnesium supplements every day. I once met a 72-year-old man He faithfully took 2 calcium tablets a day to prevent osteoporosis, and also added magnesium after hearing it could help with cramps. But after a year, he was still waking up with painful night cramps, feeling tired, and even dizzy. When tested, his calcium levels were unusually high, while his magnesium was dangerously low. The cause? He had been taking both at the same time every morning. So what's the solution? Experts recommend that if you need both calcium and magnesium, separate them by at least 4 to 6 hours. For example, you could take calcium in the morning after breakfast and reserve magnesium for the evening before bed. This simple adjustment allows your body to absorb both nutrients without canceling each other out. But remember this: too much calcium does not equal stronger bones. In fact, when calcium doesn't go to the right place, your bones, it builds up in your blood vessels and kidneys, raising the risk of kidney stones, hardened arteries, and even heart failure. And the lack of magnesium caused by poor absorption only makes these problems worse. This is a mistake many older adults are making, believing they're protecting their bones, when in reality they're actually stripping away the shield that protects their heart and brain. And here's the twist: there's another mistake. Just as common but even more dangerous, the combination of thiazide diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure, with vitamin D and calcium. This is the real time bomb I'll reveal in the next section. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, please drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're here with me. I'll do my best to reply to each of your questions personally. At the end of the previous section, I mentioned a harsh truth: excess calcium doesn't make bones stronger. It silently destroys your arteries and kidneys. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. For many older adults, an even greater danger comes from the daily combination of thiazide diuretics, vitamin D, and calcium. Imagine this: your doctor prescribes a diuretic to manage blood pressure every morning. You also take your calcium and vitamin D supplements to protect your bones. It feels like a healthy routine, but in reality, you're creating a time bomb inside your body. Why? Thiazide diuretics reduce calcium excretion through urine. In other words, they trap calcium in your bloodstream. When you add extra calcium and vitamin D, your blood calcium level can rise to dangerous heights known as hypercalcemia. This doesn't just make your bones weaker by disrupting mineral balance. It can also trigger some of the most feared complications in seniors' kidney stones: irregular heartbeat, muscle weakness, constant fatigue, and even heart failure. In fact, there have been cases of patients over 60 who followed this routine for just a few months, only to be hospitalized for severe arrhythmias and kidney damage. I recall a woman in her mid-60s from my local wellness group. She told me she was diligent taking her diuretic as prescribed, plus calcium and vitamin D for bone health. But instead of feeling stronger, she grew more exhausted, her joints ached, and sometimes her heart raced for no reason. When she finally went to the doctor, tests revealed that the combination of those 3 was flooding her blood with calcium. So what's the safer path? First and foremost, never combine prescription medication and supplements without consulting your doctor. If you're on thiazide diuretics, regular blood tests to monitor calcium and magnesium are essential. At the same time, prioritize natural sources of calcium like small fish eaten with the bones, sesame seeds, and leafy greens over heavy reliance on pills. As for vitamin D, aim for gentle morning sunlight or a carefully adjusted dose based on your lab results. And remember, this health doesn't come from swallowing as many pills as possible, but from balance and proper timing. Sometimes the very habits we believe are protecting us are the ones quietly inviting the complications we fear most after 63. But the danger doesn't stop here. Beyond pills and prescriptions, there are also everyday foods that look innocent but can completely disrupt the effects of your vitamins and minerals. That's the hidden truth I'll reveal in the next section. At the end of the last section, I mentioned a frightening truth. It's not only pills or supplements that bring risks. Many everyday foods can quietly sabotage your efforts to protect your health. And this is the trap so many people over 60 are falling into without realizing it. Picture this: every morning, you take your calcium pill, your vitamin D, or magnesium. Then, you casually eat a breakfast of white bread, a strong cup of tea, or even a handful of dried fruit for convenience. It sounds harmless, doesn't it? But that very combination may be the reason why those supplements you take end up doing nothing for your body. Here's why. Tea and coffee are loaded with tannins, which bind tightly to minerals like iron, calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium, making them nearly impossible for your body to absorb. White bread and refined grains packed with gluten interfere with the absorption of zinc and iron. Dried fruits concentrate sugars that not only spike your blood sugar, but also disrupt how your body processes vitamin D. And over time, this creates a vicious cycle. The more supplements you take, the less your body absorbs, leaving you with weaker bones, faster memory decline, and energy that keeps slipping away. I remember an elderly man in his 70s from a Tai Chi group who told me, "I've been taking supplements for years, but I'm still tired, still losing bone density, still forgetful." After reviewing his routine, we discovered that every morning he washed down his calcium pill with strong tea. That one simple habit had quietly undone years of effort. So, what can you do? The advice is simple yet powerful. Never drink tea or coffee within 2 hours before or after taking vitamins or minerals. Choose whole grains over refined white bread so you don't block zinc and iron absorption. Avoid dried fruits packed with concentrated sugar. Stick to fresh, seasonal fruit instead. Most importantly, treat supplements as the last step only after you've already optimized your daily diet. The most important lesson I want you to take away is this: health after 60 does not come from swallowing more pills. It comes from wisdom in small traits, daily choices. Every cup of tea, every slice of bread, every piece of fruit can either be a saboteur or a partner in your journey towards stronger bones, a sharper mind, and a longer life. And if there's one final message, it is this: stop believing that more is better. True value lies in knowledge and balance. When you combine things the right way, each supplement becomes your ally, not a silent betrayer that pushes you toward illness. We've just walked together through such an important journey, from the misunderstandings about how vitamins and minerals should be combined to the habits that look harmless but actually block absorption, and even the foods that silently sabotage the effort you've been making. You see, sometimes good health doesn't come from swallowing more pills, but from how we understand, choose, and combine them each day. I know that after 60, the body no longer feels as easy as it once did. Joint aches, fading memory, or that lingering fatigue can make us feel like we're aging too quickly. But let me remind you, you are not alone. Millions of people your age are also searching for ways to take back control, to regain joy, energy, and peace of mind in their daily lives. And the beautiful truth is, this change can begin with the small choices you make today. If you found these insights helpful, please leave me a comment below. Where are you watching from, and what health concern worries you the most right now? I'll read and do my best to respond to each comment. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like so we can continue this journey together in future videos. And if you'd like to give a little support to help this channel keep spreading useful knowledge, you can click the donate button below. Every bit of support, no matter how small, is a precious motivation for me to keep going alongside you. Always remember, after 60, health isn't just about living longer, it's about living deeper, calmer, and more fully. And I truly believe you deserve to walk this journey with a stronger body and a peaceful heart.